The ticket price. This does not shock me at all. What did I say earlier? The WNBA was about to F around and find out, and these rival teams were going to be in a lot of trouble. Well, they're finding.
The lights went down. The crowd erupted, and for a moment it felt like the WNBA had finally broken through the ceiling. After years of grinding for attention, fighting for packed seats, headlines, and cultural relevance, everything suddenly clicked. Viewership numbers were off the charts.
Tickets were selling out.
The energy stretched. From arenas to social media, from living rooms to national broadcasts. It wasn't just hype, it was history being made. But then, just like that, one small headline changed everything. One player was ruled out for a few weeks. No major injury, no league-wide announcement, just a brief update, and the entire atmosphere shifted. That single update triggered a chain reaction no one saw coming. Ticket sales dropped, engagement dipped, merch numbers slowed. What looked like a thriving empire suddenly showed cracks. It was like pulling one brick out of a massive tower and watching the whole thing tremble. And in that moment, a harsh question came into
focus.
Was this meteoric rise in women's basketball truly a sign of long-term growth? Or was it all riding on the back of one transcendent superstar? The answer wasn't pretty. The drop-off exposed just how much of the league's momentum hinged on one name, one presence. And now that reality is forcing the WNBA into an uncomfortable position, a wake-up call that its future might be far more fragile than fans and executives want to admit.
The Caitlin Clark effect has been a net positive for the WNBA and all of its teams. But the star guard expected to miss a minimum of 2 weeks. The league will see the flip side of her impact, and there are already initial data points. This is front office sports, no conspiracies, no BS from them. Statistical.
Before rumors of her absence even began, the WNBA was riding a massive wave of momentum. Every Indiana Fever game had become must-see entertainment. Tickets were disappearing fast, with some going for over $80 just to get in the door, while courtside seats climbed even higher. The buzz wasn't just hype. It was real, electric, and unstoppable, pushing opposing teams and arena officials to make bold, high-risk decisions to capitalize on it. Take the Las Vegas Aces, for example. They didn't just adjust their approach, they went Allen. They moved their matchup with a fever from the smaller Winrust Arena to the massive United Center, a 21,000-seat venue built for NBA stars and sold-out concerts. It was a clear bet on one idea: that Caitlin Clark's star power could fill every seat in the building. This wasn't just logistics. It was a statement, a full-scale gamble based on one player's ability to pack arenas and elevate the entire league. Because make no mistake, everyone knew exactly who the fans were coming to see.
To hit the panic button 48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks, the market has responded, and the market has told the WNBA, we don't want this. We want her, but we don't want.
Then came the moment everything shifted. What started as a quiet rumor quickly turned into full-blown headlines. Caitlin Clark, the driving force behind the WNBA's surge in attention, was ruled out and sidelined. And just like that, the energy around the league changed. The reaction wasn't gradual. It was immediate. The market responded with a blunt reality check. Without her, this version of the WNBA didn't carry the same weight. The silence that followed wasn't just noticeable, it was heavy. Fans didn't show up in the same numbers. Prices dropped sharply, and demand that once felt unstoppable cooled almost overnight. Look at the Las Vegas Aces versus Indiana Fever game at the United Center. What had been one of the most in-demand tickets in the league, priced around $86, fell to nearly $25 within hours. A dramatic 71% drop that shocked organizers who had expected a sellout. And it didn't end there. A similar pattern followed when the Fever played the Washington Mystics on the road. Thinner crowds, lower prices, and a clear shift in atmosphere. It wasn't just a single case. It felt like a warning sign, loud and impossible to ignore.
their own 9,000 something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were kind of decent. They're a dumpster fire now. And now that Caitlin Clark is injured,
what was once a hot ticket at $41 quickly lost momentum, dropping to around $22, a steep 47% decline that left both fans and front offices surprised. And it wasn't limited to just one game. Zoom out, and the bigger picture becomes even clearer. Across 5 major Indiana Fever matchups over a 2-stretch, average ticket prices had been soaring at around $137. But after the injury news, that average fell sharply to about $80. That's a 42% drop in a very short period, showing
just how quickly the market reacted.
To games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement, an average ticket price of $137 all the way down to $80.
This wasn't just a small dip in interest. It felt like a clear message from the fans. No Caitlin Clark, no tickets. The demand spoke for itself. People weren't just showing up for the WNBA. They were showing up to see her. And when she wasn't on the court, the entire atmosphere shifted. You could sense it immediately. The buzz was gone even before tip-off. It felt like the energy had been drained out of the building. That quiet, almost unsettling shift told a much bigger story. The league's rise in popularity, the one everyone had been celebrating, wasn't as stable as it appeared. Beneath all the excitement was a fragile reality. This surge wasn't driven by broad interest, but was heavily tied to one dominant star.
People are selling their tickets, definitely can't get face value, so what do? They just continue to lower and lower and lower and lower and lower the price. This isn't all resellers, folks. Hate to break it to you. A majority of these are everyday normal people. A majority of these are everyday normal people who watch Caitlin Clark in Iowa, watch her in her first year in Indiana, said, man, I want to watch that. I want to go to those games. I want to experience that. They won't be able to experience it.
This wasn't just about a superstar missing a few games. It became a harsh, unfiltered spotlight on the WNBA's deepest cracks. The numbers didn't lie. Cold, brutal, and impossible to ignore. They confirmed what many suspected, but few were willing to say out loud. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. She's a central force driving the league's momentum. It often feels like the entire operation is running on her energy, while others are simply along for the ride, benefiting from the attention she generates. The surge in popularity, packed arenas, viral highlights, and rising ticket demand had all been celebrated as proof that the league had entered a new era, finally earning mainstream respect. But this moment revealed a more uncomfortable truth. Much of that momentum was tied to one generational
talent.
And when she's not on the court, the league doesn't just lose excitement, it loses a sense of identity.
Beyond
Clark, the WNBA still struggles with a deep roster of equally marketable stars ready to consistently carry that spotlight. And that's the real challenge, not something highlights or headlines alone can fix.
It's more statistical proof, data, to confirm exactly what we've been saying, that Caitlin Clark is driving this whole ship, this whole bus. She's driving it. Everybody else, get in the back.
It became the reality check the league couldn't ignore. If even a brief absence from Caitlin Clark could trigger such a widespread drop in interest, it raised a serious question about the true strength of the WNBA's foundation. This wasn't just about a couple of games. It felt like a warning sign flashing across the entire business model. The ripple effect touched everything: ticket sales, hype, atmosphere, and even long-term financial expectations. Matchups that were supposed to be marquee events like Las Vegas Aces versus Indiana Fever, once seen as symbols of the league's rising momentum, suddenly lost their shine. The excitement faded, and the vision of packed arenas turned into rows of empty seats. It wasn't just numbers declining, it was the atmosphere collapsing. Even casual viewers could sense the difference. The buzz was simply gone. This wasn't the usual star injury, where fans still show up out of habit or loyalty. This felt different. The league's heavy reliance on Clark's star power was exposed in real time. Without her, the energy shifted. The idea that one player alone could elevate an entire league began to crack under pressure, leaving many teams scrambling to stay relevant in the silence she left behind.
Marquee matchup in the WNBA. Like it or love it, rivalry or not, Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, that is the marquee matchup in the WNBA, and those tickets are crashing just as well. From $86 48 hours ago to $25. And by the time June 7th rolls around, it might cost you a bag of Skittles and some Lay's potato chips to get in there.
Even as Angel Reese and other compelling stars take center stage, the hard data remains unchanged. No other player currently matches Caitlin Clark's ability to consistently draw crowds, elevate excitement, and significantly influence the league's financial momentum. This isn't just a minor hiccup. It's a major, unmistakable wake-up call for the WNBA to fully reassess how it builds its market and secures its long-term future. At the core of the issue is a fundamental question about the league's business model. Can it develop a sustainable, independent identity without relying so heavily on the health and availability of a single superstar? Or will its trajectory always depend on the presence and brilliance of just a small group of elite players? The unwritten story of the WNBA's future demands rapid and meaningful change, broadening its appeal, strengthening its overall roster of marketable talent, and actively nurturing the next generation of fan-drawing stars. If the league fails to adapt, its most exciting moments risk being overshadowed by its structural weaknesses, leaving a league full of potential facing an uncertain and possibly difficult future. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe and enable all notifications so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.